Good morning and what's up everybody? Today I'm going to be reviewing something quick, something easy, something that you are absolutely going to want to know if you do video.
Girls only want boyfriends who have great skills.
We all know what speed ramping is. It's what's going on in the background when the videos go from fast to slow, then really fast again. They pull back, go to the side, go up, go down, and it's really easy to do in Davinci Resolve. I'm gonna walk you through exactly how you do those smooth speed ramps. And at the end, I'm going to show you a trick that will take your speed ramps to another level. So let's dive in. So the first thing you want to do is drag the clips into your timeline that you want to speed ramp. Then you want to determine where you actually want to speed ramp your clips. So for this, I just want to speed ramp at the end of the first clip and at the beginning of the second clip. In order to speed ramp, you want to right click on the clip, then click Retime Controls. You can press Command plus to zoom in. Here you want to go to the point where you want to change the speed. For me, it's going to be about right here. Then you want to click on this black drop-down arrow and click Add Speed Point. This creates a retime cursor. You can change the speed in a few ways. The first way is to select this drop-down arrow where it says 100%, change speed, and then select one of these speeds. The next way you can change the speed is by actually dragging the retime cursor to the left or the right. This is going to change the speed on the left side of the clip. The next way to change the speed is by dragging the top part of the right side of the first clip. And this is actually how I'm going to change the speed for this. So I'm going to change it to about 2000 and see what that looks like. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to do the same thing for the next clip by right-clicking, clicking Retime Controls, determining where I want to actually change the speed, which for me, it will be right here. Then clicking on this black drop-down arrow, clicking Add Speed Point, and then controlling the speed through the retime cursor, moving the top portion of it towards the left side of the clip. So I actually want to move it a little bit faster. So I'm going to go to 3000. You can also change the position of the speed point by clicking and dragging the bottom part of the retime cursor. So this actually moves where the speed is changing, but it doesn't change the speed. So I think that looks pretty good, but it's not extremely smooth yet. So what we want to do to smooth this transition out is right click on the clip, then click Retime Curve. This will take you to a curve that looks like this. Here you want to click on this drop down menu, uncheck Retime Frame, and make sure Retime Speed is checked. This is not a curve, this is just an instantaneous change, which is why it looks a little bit jerky. Click on this white dot, and then go over here where it has a linear slope to a curved slope. And you can actually move this parallel line here to change the slope of the curve as well. So you can really smooth it out or have it faster by moving this line. I'm gonna do the same thing for the other clip. So right click, Retime Curve, make sure Retime Speed is selected. Click on this white dot, and then change it to the curved line, and then adjust this line to change the actual curve. Now let's see what that looks like. Okay, looking a little bit better. I'm going to tweak it slightly by increasing the speed even more to 4000. Okay, I like that better. So you want to make these small adjustments and just kind of visually determine whether it looks smooth, whether it looks good or not. There's one thing that this is missing, which is motion blur. Motion blur is natural to the human eye. When you see objects moving in real life, you have a little bit of motion blur, so when there is no motion blur, it looks kind of unnatural. And in order to get that motion blur, what you do, you determine where your speed is changing and put the playhead there. Then you're going to switch into the color tab. Once you're in the color tab, you want to choose directional blur and put it on a node. So we're going to actually keyframe this directional blur so that we have blur when it's moving really fast, and when it's not, we don't have the blur. And all we want to do is determine where the speed is changing, go back to the color tab, and we want to keyframe this blur string. So I'm going to move back one frame and change this blur strength to 0, keyframe it, then move forward one frame, change this directional blur to 0.25, hit enter, and Davinci Resolve will automatically keyframe it. The directional blur angle for right to left camera movement would typically be in the range of 180 to 270 degrees. This is because the blur direction should generally be perpendicular to the direction of the motion in order to create a natural looking motion blur. So let's do the same thing for this next clip. This clip is moving forward, so we want to change the direction of the directional blur. But from here, we put our playhead where the speed is changing, go to the color tab, drag directional blur on the color tab node. I'm gonna change the angle to about right there. And then I'm going to keyframe this directional blur at 0.25 by clicking this diamond, move forward one clip, and then keyframe the directional blur strength to 0. So now we have something that looks like this. And it just looks a lot more natural. So you can adjust the speed and the directional blur strength as you please until it kind of is to your liking. For example, here the directional blur feels a little bit strong in my opinion. So what I would do is go back to the color tab and just slightly adjust this keyframe to maybe 0.2 and also change this blur angle to around 100. There we go. And that looks pretty good. And now you have a smooth transition through speed ramping. So there you have it. It's really effective, especially with that motion blur. If you found this video valuable, smash that like button or just tap it lightly, whatever you want to do. And I will see you in the next video.